Diversity in the living world. Biodiversity is the variety of life on Earth. This includes all the different plants, animals, and microorganisms, the genes they contain, and the ecosystem they form on land and in water. Each member in the biodiversity of a region has a different role to play. Plants produce food and oxygen through the photosynthesis, and these are used by animals for nutrition and respiration. Trees provide shelter to animals. Animals help in spreading seeds after eating fruits. Thus, they are interdependent. Grouping makes it easier to understand and study plants and animals on the basis of their similarities and differences. Plants can be grouped as herbs, shrubs, trees, creepers, and climbers based on their heights, types of stem, and branching patterns. Herbs are typically small plants with soft and green stem. For example, grass, tomato plant, mint, etc. Shrubs are those plants often have many brown woody stems that start branching very close to the ground. These stems are hard but not as thick as that of the stem of a tree. Whereas trees grow really tall with hard, thick, brown and woody stems. Their branches typically start higher upon the stem and away from the ground. Creepers are those plants with weak stem and creep along the ground. Example, pumpkin. And climbers are those plants with weak stem which need support to climb and grow. Thin lines which are found on the leaves of plants are called veins. They act as the conducting tissues. In some leaves, a net-like pattern of veins are seen on both sides of a thick middle vein. This pattern is called reticulate venation. In some leaves, the veins run parallel, and this pattern is called parallel venation. Plants can also be grouped as monocots and dicots. Monocots are the plants with seeds that have single thin cotyledons, whereas dicots are the plants that have seeds with two cotyledons. Leaves of monocots show parallel venation, whereas leaves of dicots show reticulate venation. Also, the monocots have fibrous root system and the dicots show taproot system. Taproot system is the one which consists of one main root, which is called as a taproot, and small lateral side roots arising from it. And in fibrous root system, a bunch of similar sized thin roots arise from the base of the stem. Animals can be grouped on various bases. Based on their moving style, animals can be grouped as walking animals, flying animals, swimming animals, etc. Walking animals, like humans, live on the land, walk or run during most of their lives. Bones are an important part of their body, and they are heavy and hard, which can support their big body, also help them to do their daily activities. Lungs supply enough air to them. Flying animals like birds have feathers covering their bodies instead of fur or hair. Light and hollow bones can reduce unnecessary weight while they are flying. Their tooth is modified into beak. Their teeth is modified into beak. Swimming animals swim and live in water. They have scales for protection. Their bodies streamlined and are covered with mucus which can help them to swim through water. They use gills to breathe. Habitats and adaptations. The place where organisms live is called habitat. Habitat means dwelling place. The habitat provides food, water, air, shelter, and other needs to organisms. can be grouped based on their habitat as aquatic animals that live only in water bodies, terrestrial animals that live only on land, amphibians that can live both on land and in water, and the arboreal animals that primarily live in trees. The plants and animals found in one region are different from those found in another region. The special features that enable plants and animals to survive in a particular region are called adaptations. Let's look at the adaptations of desert organisms. Camels have long legs which help them to keep their body away from the heat of the sun. They excrete small amounts of urine, their dung is dry, and they do not sweat much. Since a camel lose very little amount of water from their bodies, they can live for many days without water. There are desert animals like rats and snakes which do not have long legs like that of a camel. These animals come out only during the night when it is cool. To stay away from the intense heat during the day, they stay in burrows deep in the ground. Now let us look at the desert plants. The leaves in the desert plants are either absent, very small, or in the form of spines. This helps the plant to reduce the loss of water from leaves by transpiration. The leaf-like structure in cactus is in fact its stem. The stem is also covered with a thick waxy layer which helps the plant to retain water in the tissues of cacti. Most desert plants have roots that go very deep into the soil for absorbing water. If you look at the adaptations of organisms in mountain habitat, most of the trees are normally cone-shaped and have sloping branches. Leaves of some mountainous trees are needle-like. This helps the rainwater and snow to slide off easily. Mountain animals have thick skin or fur to protect them from cold, like yak, which have long hair to keep them warm. Snow leopards have thick fur on their body, including feet and toes. This protects their feet from cold while walking in snow. Look at these mountain goats. They have strong hooves for running up the rocky slopes of the mountains. Organisms may exhibit different features in different regions to survive the conditions of those regions. For example, if you look at the rhododendron varieties growing in Nilgiris and the other one growing in Sikkim. A rhododendron growing in the Shola forest of Nilgiris are of shorter height and have smaller leaves to survive through the heavy winds on mountaintops, whereas the rhododendrons in the mountains of Sikkim are found to be smaller. If you look at the camels in the hot deserts, they have long legs with wide hooves, and the long legs and the wide hooves help these camels to walk on the sandy desert without sinking into the sand. Camels in the hot desert have one hump each that helps them to survive during the scarcity of food. On the other hand, the height and legs of camels in a cold desert are comparatively shorter. These short legs allow them to walk easily in mountainous regions. Camels in the cold desert have two humps each. These two humps shrink in the late winters because there is not much food available in the cold desert. It is very important to conserve the biodiversity. Due to the damage of their habitats, plants and animals lose their homes, food, and other resources, resulting in the loss of biodiversity. Do you know that sacred groves are a community protected treasure of biodiversity? Many biologists around the world worked relentlessly for the protection of biodiversity. They have conducted several movements, and one such movement is Save Silent Valley protest. This is a real story of a forest in Palakkad district of Kerala. It is about preserving untouched beauty of a moist evergreen forest and its rich biodiversity. The now famous Silent Valley was saved by a remarkable movement led by common people who were not even residing in the vicinity of the forest. The battle against the proposal of a hydroelectric dam across the Kundipura river persisted for 10 years. At that time, people used all possible available means such as widespread awareness programs, letters to editors, articles in newspapers, seminars, petitions, and appeals in the court. Finally, the movement was successful in saving the Silent Valley. Janaki Amma, who was India's first female botanist and was the first Indian woman to receive a doctorate degree in botany in the US, played a key role in the Save Silent Valley movement. Salim Ali was an Indian ornithologist and naturalist, sometimes referred to as the Birdman of India. He became a key figure behind the Bombay Natural History Society after 1947. He used his personal influence to garner government support for the organization, create the Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary, and prevent the destruction of what is now the Silent Valley National Park. The Government of India has initiated several projects to conserve the biodiversity, like Project Tiger, which was initiated in 1973 to protect the declining population of Bengal tiger. The Cheetah Reintroduction Project, initiated in 2022 to restore the population of cheetah. Also, the habitats of great Indian bustards have been declared as protected areas in the states of Gujarat, Rajasthan, and Maharashtra.